Exeter's Royal Albert Memorial Museum opened its doors today to 1,000 golden ticket holders after being closed to the public for 4 years. During the multi-million-pound refurbishment to repair and extend the building in Queen Street, over 220,000 cups of tea were drunk by staff, a new garden entrance was made, and the RAMM's most iconic and loved resident, Gerald the Giraffe, went on a much-needed holiday. But don't worry, he's back, along with 3,000 more objects and a new all-round sensory experience, and it's all still free to get in. Almost 250,000 people visited the museum in its last year before closure. So what did the public think of the changes and the 4-year wait to see them?
Well, I think it's absolutely amazing. We've been coming to the museum for, well, ever since we came to Exeter, which is a good long time ago, and it's just opened it up, and it's very easy. Well, I mean, there's not so many people here today, but very easy to walk around.
It's quite amazing, actually, the extension at the back, and you've gone away from the old idea of sort of millions of drawers and glass cases that you can't see anything, and it's really good.
It's really good, and quite more big, quite a lot bigger than the other one. And it was just, and there's lots of different things.
So you're looking after the bird room in RAMM. So, what's new about it?
Well, it's totally new. There's one major display, an array of all the bird orders, the divisions of the bird world. And there's just about every order that we've got in the collection is represented by at least one bird in there.
Right.
So, and what's new about that is that we've never had all of the birds in one place. I mean, I don't think in this museum's history there's been a case where the birds have all been in, or at least a display has been exclusively about birds.
Right.
So that's what's different.
So the visitors that have come through this morning, what have they thought of it? What's the general impression?
I think everybody's very impressed, and you know, really, I am sort of taken aback myself as to how successful it all is.
Why did you need to refurbish the museum?
Well, RAMM was already a fantastic museum, wonderful collections, world-class collections, very good visitor numbers, over 250,000 visitors a year. But in a way, our 19th century building was becoming a bit of a straitjacket on the sorts of events and activities that we were able to hold here, so that we knew that actually moving forward we needed to do something with the building in order for us to develop in the future.
So what changes can the public expect to see here?
What we've done in this project really is to look at the whole museum, look at its facilities, look at its displays, look at the building fabric, and address all of these through the project. So I think when people come, they will see parts of the building and some of the collections that they recognise, but they'll also see a lot of new things as well, and a lot of new spaces, a lot of new objects that previously weren't out on show.
So what exhibitions have you got coming up in the museum?
Well, temporary exhibitions have always been a big part of what RAMM does, and part of this project has been creating a new temporary exhibition gallery suite. So we have 3 big galleries where we can host exhibitions. So we're opening with 3 really important shows. The first one commemorates our connection with Prince Albert, and it's early photographs from the royal collection. Queen Victoria and Prince Albert were really interested in a new technique of photography, and they commissioned some sort of early photographers to take photographs for their private collection. So Roger Fenton and Julia Margaret Cameron, who are very important figures in the world of photography, took photographs for the royal couple, and the royal collection is very kindly lent them to Exeter to celebrate our opening. And the other exhibition we have here is Into the Light, which is about Impressionism and Post-Impressionism, both in France and the UK, and has some fantastic loans of paintings from some really important collections around the UK. Tate, Courtaulds Institute, National Gallery have all been extremely generous in lending us some very important paintings, again to mark our reopening. And then the final exhibition is an exhibition called Road to Rome, which is about the grand tour of Europe in the 18th century.
So I understand that you've had some work commissioned from Blast Theory as well. Could you tell me a little bit about Ghostwriter?
Okay. Well, this Ghostwriter is our first digital art commission, so it's a sort of a big new departure for RAMM. And Blast Theory are a very well-known artist collective with a sort of international reputation. So it's tremendously exciting that they've produced this piece that relates directly to the new displays here at RAMM. And it's very much it takes the visitor on a journey. So the idea is that when you come here, you dial into a number, and this voice, which is the artist's voice, takes you on a journey around the display. So there are choices to be made on that journey. So it's an interactive experience. So people really need to come along and experience this.
I saw you having a play with the giraffe camera over here. What do you think of all the interactive features that have been introduced?
I think they're great. They're really good. And when I first came into the museum about an hour ago, I was looking at one of these computer interactive things, and they showed the conservator repairing a pot for display in the museum. And you saw the sort of the clay she was putting on, and some idea of what happens. Because when you see a prehistoric pot, you think it looks intact, then you look a bit closer, and you can see where they've fitted bits in. Because I suppose when you dig it up, there are bits missing. So it just shows you the way, it was repaired, which it hadn't done before in the previous museums.
So the changes that have been made, have they made your experience more enjoyable so far?
Yes, I think so, yes. It's a nice auditorium down there where the guys are playing music. Very good acoustics down there. And the restaurant is nice, which is a good add to how it used to be.
Yeah,
and it doesn't seem so austere as it used to be. One time you felt like you were coming into a mausoleum or something. It doesn't feel like that anymore.
We've been up to see the Roman wall up at the top, which I think will be good in the summer when you can get out and walk around the wall. But apart from that, we've just been generally looking around at the moment. So, but the overall impression is excellent. So lovely.
Would you say it's been worth the 4-year wait?
Yes. I think from what I hear, they've got more done because it's been longer. That it wouldn't have been perhaps quite so good if it had just been 2 years.
Have you seen that Gerald's still here?
Yes.
Is that a good thing?
Definitely.